Hi friends, welcome to day 2 of this 10-day yoga challenge. Great job getting on your mat today. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's practice and you're starting off this year wonderfully, dedicated to a little bit of yoga every day. So let's go ahead and grab your mat and get started today. If you're participating in this challenge, please drop a comment and let me know how this is going for you, and we can be supportive of each other. So we're going to start today's practice in a child's pose. And if it's available for you to bring your knees all the way together, start to lay the belly down over the thighs. If that's too intense, you can always separate your knees a little bit. And let's go ahead and fold down into your child's pose, resting your forehead down toward the floor over time. And we'll just take a moment to unwind and relax your elbows. Start to deepen your breathing a little bit so that when you expand your belly, you feel the space of the inhale filling into the back ribs. And we can start to press through the tops of the feet a little more firmly. And then let's wake up the spine gradually, pressing through the tops of the feet. Lift your belly on the inhale, wave forward. Just see how that feels today, looking forward. And then exhale, gently press back. And take a moment to pause in that child's pose and just tune into your reason for committing to this 10-day challenge. Why are you getting on your mat? What do you want to cultivate in this practice? And let that help inspire your motivation and your effort. And then press through the tops of the feet on your inhale. We'll wave forward through the crown. Shoulder blades glide down the back. And then exhale, press back, hips to heels. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, waving through. Spreading those fingertips wide apart. And then exhale, press back. And then inhale, waving forward. And then exhale, hug your elbows in, come all the way down onto the belly. And take your elbows right under your shoulders and find this Sphinx pose so your big toes will touch. Let's go ahead and drop your right shoulder forward and look over your left shoulder, peeling your left shoulder back, look toward your left foot. And then come back to center, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then draw that left shoulder forward, draw your right shoulder back, look over your right shoulder, and looking toward your right foot. And then back to center, lift your gaze, look up, and then let your chin drop down toward your chest, letting the chin melt and keeping the shoulder blades squeezing together. And then lift your gaze forward and point your toes toward the back of your head. So any amount you can point those toes toward the back of your head. Drop your pubic bones down and feel a little stretch through the quadriceps. Find your big toes touching. Inhale, and then exhale, gently let your feet come back. We're going to tuck the toes under, lower your chest down, and take your palms under the elbows. Press up into your tabletop position. We'll continue to wake up the whole spine. Rounding through the spine, scoop the tail. And then drop the belly down. On the inhale, spread the chest. On the exhale, scoop the tail. And we're taking this very gentle cat and cow. Inhale, tuck your toes. Spread your chest. Exhale, tops of feet press and round. And inhale, tuck your toes. Spread your chest, look up. And exhale, feet are flat and round. And then back to neutral. With your toes tucked, send your hips toward your heels. Stretch your hands forward. You can look forward and see that your first fingers are parallel. Good. And then looking toward your belly, lift up your knees and send the sitting bones high into downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths in downward dog. You see that your feet are about hip width distance apart, and you can pedal out your feet, waking up the backs of your legs. Finding that moment of hollow belly at the end of the exhale. Very good. And we'll wave into a very easy plank pose, waking up your core a little bit, spreading through the collarbones. And then bring your knees lightly down and then sweep your hips back up to downward dog. Lift your heels high, come up onto your tiptoes, and tiptoe forward all the way between your thumbs. And then fold in Uttanasana, bending your knees. Hook your thumbs in your elbow creases, and we're going to hang in a ragdoll, letting your forearms melt down toward the tops of the feet and letting your head go. You can sway a little bit, keeping your knees slightly open so they don't knock in. And then take your hands onto your lower back into imaginary back pockets. Give the sacrum a press as you gather the belly and slowly come on up and find a Tadasana, mountain pose. Shoulder blades gliding down the back. Lift up through the crown of the head. Now inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, palms press. Exhale, open your arms out and swan dive down, crown of head last. We're going to move in and out of that flow a couple times, warming up and moving the body with your breath. Press through the feet, inhale, sweep up, reaching the arms overhead, palms press. Exhale, belly in, and slowly swan dive down, crown of head last. And then press through the feet, inhale, sweep up, reaching up, press, exhale, belly in, swan dive down. Good. And one more time, inhale, moving the body with the breath. And then exhale, swan dive down. Release your hands all the way down to the floor and the pinky toe sides of your feet, even if you have to bend your knees quite a bit. Take a big step back with your left foot. Spin your left heel down, preparing for warrior two. It's heel to heel alignment. Pressing through both feet, cartwheel your left arm up and overhead into a warrior two. Gazing over the right fingertips, hugging your lower ribs in, and dropping your right thigh bone down. You're strong, stable, connected to the earth. Crown of head lifting toward the sky. Reach your right fingertips forward, turn your right palm up, reverse warrior, left hand to left thigh, right arm sweeps up and over, and we'll inhale through that right side waist. Exhale, belly in, and a slow cartwheel. Release your hands to frame your front foot. Swing your left heel over the toes, and we'll step into a plank pose or tabletop pose if plank pose is too intense. You can either go back to downward dog or squeeze your elbows in, lower down through a chaturanga, and come onto your belly. Take your feet flat for cobra pose on the inhale, and then exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips toward the heels, and we'll meet up in a downward dog. Just a couple breaths there. Dropping your heels toward the ground. Stretching from your pinkies right up through those deep hip creases. And then at the end of your exhale, lift your heels high. Come onto tiptoes. Tiptoe forward right between the thumbs. Let's inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, fold your belly toward the thighs, even if you have to bend your knees quite a bit. Uttanasana. Press through the feet, inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands come down right through the central channel. Now rooting through the feet, inhale, sweep the arms up, gazing up. Exhale, belly in, hinging from the hips, swan dive fold, crown of head last. Inhale, lift up, gaze forward, hands on the ground or your shins. Exhale, take a big step back with your right foot and spiral the outer right heel down, preparing for warrior two. Left toes are pointing straight ahead. Cartwheel the right arm up and overhead. Find a strong warrior two. You can always look over your right hand and check to see that that right hand is lifting in space on the same plane as your left hand, and drop your pelvis down. Feel the thigh bones lifting up into the hip sockets, and the sides of the neck soften right down in between the shoulder blades as you drop your tail. Soften your toes. Start to reach from your left hip crease out through the left fingertips. Left palm up, reverse warrior. Right hand to right thigh. Left arm sweeps up and over. As you gaze up, take your inhale breath. Exhale, slow cartwheel. Release your hands to frame your front foot. Swing your right heel over the toes. Plant your palms as you lift your hips and step to downward dog. Finding downward dog. Wave into a plank. Nice and strong. Lift up the back of the head. Spread your collarbones. And then drop your knees. Walk your knees between your thumbs. Cross your ankles. And then as you press the ground away, you're going to sit behind the heels, thumbs up. Uncross, flex your feet, balance for a moment in half boat pose, and then open your knees. Take your hands to the front of your shins. Inhale, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, spread your chest and reach forward. Fingertips can cup on your toes, or you can reach through the fingertips and take that bound angle forward fold. Nice broad chest. Knees dropping open. Then dropping your tailbone down, draw your belly in and come all the way up. Sit up really tall. Draw your knees in, extend your heels out straight, and then slide your hands toward your ankles or toward your toes, coming into that Paschimottanasana forward fold. Now you can open your elbows out and spread your chest toward your feet and look toward your belly. And then drop your elbows down toward your mat, broaden your chest forward, and take a moment there. Breathing space into the back ribs. Remembering your intention, of course. And then we'll slowly start to sit up and gradually roll down onto your back. Arriving on the back, let your whole back body unwind, tucking your shoulder blades one at a time underneath your back. And then gently draw your right knee in toward your chest, give it a little squeeze, and step your left foot on the ground. Cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Keeping that right foot flexed, we're in a figure 4 position. You could stay here or thread the needle and take your hands in the left knee crease or the front of your shin. You're pressing your right knee away from your right shoulder socket and rocking here. Let your right thigh bone wrap itself right into the right hip socket. And really rest the back of the head and the shoulder blades. Rest and broaden the collarbones. And let your mind linger on the area of the most sensation for a moment in figure 4 pose. Now draw that left thigh toward you gently. Uncross, bring your feet on the ground, and hug your left knee in toward your side rib. You could slide your right heel out straight if that feels good, spiraling the right inner thigh toward the floor and squeezing the left thigh in toward your body. Keep the corners of the mouth and eyes soft. And then coming into figure 4 with your right foot on the ground, left ankle on top of the right thigh. Working there just to press that left knee away gently, or thread the needle, slip that left hand in between the space in your legs, and hands are in the right knee crease or the front of the shin. And we're taking this moment to open that left hip. Let your mind move to the area of the most tension, imagining light and space flowing through any tension when you inhale. When you exhale long and slow, you can rock the knees a little bit, side to side. And then squeeze that right thigh in gently. Uncross, bring your feet on the ground, mat width distance apart. Open your arms out into a cactus shape, and we're going to windshield wiper the knees. When your knees drift to the right, you tuck that left shoulder under, and when they go to the left, you draw that right shoulder under, really unwinding and loosening up. Pausing anywhere that feels good. And when your knees come back to center, knock your knees in to touch. And let's bring the arms overhead, reach through the fingertips, then press the hands down through heart center and rest your hands lightly on your belly, feeling that spacious quality of the inhale to fill the belly into the hands. And exhaling all the way out, letting that broad lower back rest. And take a moment to close your eyes and tune into how you feel right now in this moment. Letting everything go, letting everything be. Letting your eyes relax, letting your face relax. And trusting that everything is as it is for a reason, and trusting in the flow of all things. And remembering your intention for practice today. And cultivating a sense of gratitude, focusing on right now what you have to be grateful for in your mind's eye, and letting that uplift your spirit and shift your energy. And starting to draw both knees in, give yourself a hug, give yourself a little squeeze. And we'll find one last full happy baby pose. Elbows on insides of knees, hands reaching for the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. Happy baby, great way to even out the hips and spine. Nice everyday practice. And then go ahead and release your feet. Curl yourself into a little ball, knees to chin to knees. Big inhale into your back ribs. And then exhale, take your time to roll over to either side and slowly press on up to sit. Finding yourself in an upright seat, let's inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. And great job getting on your mat. Day 2 in the books. Stay tuned for day 3 coming up tomorrow in this 10-day challenge. You're doing great. Drop me a comment. Let me know how it's going. And of course, that super thanks button really helps support my channel. And I look forward to practicing with you in the new year. Have a great day. Take care.